Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
A decade, Jay. I've heard you say that in opening for a goddamn decade now.
That is true. Didn't we? What did we start? September 11th, I thought it was.
I think it was September 11th. To commemorate 9/11.
That's why we started the show.
Start a podcast.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, something like that.
Wow, it is officially been 10 years and some days.
Yeah. I forgot to mention it last time we were on, but happy anniversary.
Yeah. What'd you get me?
I'm the only one here.
Oh, damn.
Look at how many hosts we've been through.
It's been a ride. It's been a rough ride. That's fucking hilarious.
But
wow.
Can't handle it, man.
Yeah, you couldn't cut the mustard of this very low stress job. Wow, dude, 10 years. That's crazy. We've been podcasting for 10 years. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. As you know, definitely people on YouTube don't realize that because we certainly didn't put the first 400 episodes or so on YouTube. But
you don't want to hear those earlier ones. I went back to listen to the first one.
Nah.
I mean, we sound. Look, if you think we sound obnoxious now, we sounded very obnoxious in the beginning. Like it was just.
Yeah, it feels about right.
Yeah, we just knew our shit didn't stink.
We're aware of that now.
We were talking about Punisher Warzone.
Yeah. That was the very first episode
we started talking about. So, yeah. Here's to another 10 years. We'll be in our fucking 50s.
You think we'll still do it in 10 years?
I think you will. I don't know about
wow, thanks.
You just love hearing yourself talk. So.
No, but I can do that professionally. That's fine.
See, but you got the politics thing that you can fall back on also, you know.
Yeah, you can do that until you're 100. That's true.
Yeah, when you're tired of talking about fucking Spider-Man movies and shit with your buddy, you'll go hang out with your smart friends and pontificate on things that you all know. Don't know as much as you think you know about.
Oh, we definitely don't. We definitely know we're as ignorant as some people think we are. Yeah, 10 years. That's crazy. I don't know that we'll be doing I feel like the only way we're still doing this at 10 years from now. I know people are like, oh, that kind of makes me sad. Yo, that's 10 years. That's a long time, by the way. That's a lot of podcasts. Yo, but that's slightly less than 500 podcasts you have left before we retire. Okay. Like it's a lot. I feel like the only way we're still doing it in 10 more years is we've made it. Like the show is like highly, highly financially successful. And this is just like, oh, we just do this because this just makes extra money. Like I feel like, or like all of our money. Subscribe to Premium, please. But like, I feel like that would be the only way to continue for another 10 years. Or we're just at 50 years old. This is the only respite we have from our teenage kids. They could be that too, because they'll be preteens at that point.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. If I'm podcasting when my daughter's a preteen, just throw me into the first bus you see, because I'll probably need that. But yeah, that's awesome. 10 years, man. That's pretty good. Congratulations to us, the OGs. All right, let's get right into checked out this week. Brad and I sat down and watched, reviewed No Time to Die. More so, I listened to Brad get his James Bond on for his review for No Time to Die. People seemed to really be excited about the review for this movie. I have never seen our review count go up so high so fast on a movie. It's crazy. Like Brad was like, "Yeah, you should have just put in the title that it was with Brad. It would have gone even higher." I was like, "All right, just relax. It was you alone, Brad." But go check out that review for No Time to Die. Again, that's Daniel Craig's last, fifth and final James Bond movie. this week I actually had a chance to watch one thing, which was great. I finally watched The Hunt for the Wilder People, which is a movie, Micah, you refused to tell me about. Which again, like, I don't know if you've heard of this movie. Obviously this is Taika Waititi's film. I thought it was great. Like, I really did. I thought it was heartfelt. It's very funny. My wife and I enjoyed it a lot. Like, I was thoroughly entertained. I have not seen What We Do in the Shadows. I've only like watched 1 or 2 episodes of the show, but I've never seen the movie. So that's going to be next on my list of his stuff. So yeah, I dug it. So it was. I thought it was a good recommendation. I mean, I know it's like 7 years too late or whatever, but
I'm used to it at this point. I only recommend things to you that I know that I have a very strong feeling you would appreciate, right?
Yeah, I'll get to it. It's just not going to be anytime soon.
Apparently.
Right.
I don't know if I would recommend Squid Game to you personally, but I'm very much enjoying that game. It's a Netflix show.
Okay, is this okay, you got to explain this, because is this a game show or what is this?
It is a Korean drama.
Okay, that is, wow, this is like not what I expected at all. Okay, I see a lot of people talking about this in very weird terms, so I was completely confused as to what it was.
It is a Korean drama that I guess Netflix purchased. And if you can get through the first episode, it's a good show. It really is. And if you can get through the first episode, you'll want to watch the rest of them. Basically, it's like a new take on Battle Royale.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Like, I like that. Is it with kids or is it with like adults?
It's with adults. So these people are, there's a group of people who are down on their luck financially, to the point where they are desperate for cash, right? They have millions and millions of won in debt.
Okay.
And a guy comes up to them with a proposal. He's like, "Hey, if you play this game, you can win money." And they kidnap a bunch of people, take them to an undisclosed location, and they're given numbers. And there's like 456 people there. And the first game they play is red light, green light. And you know that game, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
someone is standing across a field, and they yell green light, and everyone has to run towards the person. Then they turn around and yell red light, and everyone has to stop.
Right.
And if you move, you're out of the game, right? Same rules apply, right? Only this time, if you get caught at a red light while moving, you die. They shoot you.
That seems
in the
quite
head.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, it follows these people, and these people are obviously freaked out, right? Like half of the, spoilers for the first episode, half of the contestants are gone, right?
Jesus.
Like as soon as the first person dies, everyone just starts running away. So, and then they just keep shooting. So it's and the story follows a particular group of characters. One of them is like a chauffeur who's kind of a deadbeat dad. He loves his kid, but he's a gambling addict, and he's always tight with money, and everyone has their circumstances as to why they need this cash and why they are willing to participate in this game. And then, alliances form and stuff like that. Like, it's like Big Brother meets Survivor meets Battle Royale.
Nice.
And, the first 3 episodes are really good, man. And, I'm very much looking forward to finishing this. It's only 9 episodes, about an hour a piece. I think the shortest episode is like a half an hour. there's other factors that go into it, right? Like someone is trying to infiltrate the game to figure out what's going on. And, you know, other people are trying to figure out a way out of the game while certain people are trying to play the game. It's very entertaining. If you can get through that first episode, which takes about a half an hour of setup, you know, to get you to appreciate who your main character is. And then the last half hour is the game. Yeah. You'll dig it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I love Battle Royale. Like, I love it in all forms. I like the sort of the derivative forms of like the X-Men comic when they had like, it was like the X-Men Academy or whatever. They even had a Battle Royale little series where they were like killing off like insignificant X-Men, like the kids. Yeah, okay, I'll check that out. Like, I'm cool with it. Like, that sounds pretty fun to me.
I look forward to hearing your thoughts 3 years from now.
That's fair. Possibly 4 years, if we're being honest. Again, October 11th can't get here soon enough. All right, so let's talk about the penultimate episode 8 of What If. I just finished watching it right before we hit record, so that's great. This episode is entitled What If Ultron Won, which really focused on if Ultron basically had gotten the Vision, had basically transferred his consciousness over to Vision instead of the heroes turning Vision into a hero, and then basically destroying the world. And then him figuring out that there's a multiverse because he got the Infinity Gauntlet. What did you think of this episode?
This was amazing. This is like the type of stuff that I'm looking forward to.
Yep.
And I thought this thing was firing on all cylinders. I appreciated Black Widow and Hawkeye in this, you know, as the, you know, from this future where Ultron won, but they're still trying to fight. You know what I mean? Right. We don't know what happened to everybody else. I'm assuming they're dead.
I mean, they showed like the Hulk and Cap and Iron Man just like laying there. They were and Thor just done.
Right. So I am, and I appreciate that the people with no powers are the ones who find a way to persevere. Even old Hawkeye who lost an arm at some point during all of this. I think their performances are really, they really shine. I think the story really shines with the two of them. With Vision, Ultron is an amazing, like, just bad for the sake of being bad guy.
Right.
Like he and I like that Vision is seemingly just Ultron is seemingly just all powerful, right? Like, you take the biggest gun in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Captain Marvel, and he makes short work of her.
Yeah, I kind of love that. He just like let her do her thing, and she's like, "You can't beat me." He was like, "I'm just kind of letting you just do your thing. Like, I can fuck you up if I want to. Like, knock it off."
Right. You take another big gun from the villain category in Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, and I mean, it's just like, oh yeah, like, you aim for the head, right?
Yeah.
Or in this case, like, right up the middle.
That was a pretty like telling moment. It was just like intriguing. It was like, dead. Fuck out of here.
And that was before he got the Infinity Gauntlet.
Right.
Then
exactly.
Exactly. Then he got it. And look, I like the idea of, I like what they did with this series, man. Like, all of these things are very like, all of these things are, you know, different multiverses, right? Like different universes. But here we have this villain who even the Watcher is just like, fuck, man. Like I don't know what this guy's gonna do. And then he hears him and he's like, and And then he turned around and looked at me.
Right. Jeffrey Wright is so very good in this role because he was just like, oh shit. Uh-oh.
And I like the idea of this super bad, like this multi-universal threat,
Right.
seemingly unstoppable, coming in, and the fight between the Watcher and Ultron was just,
that was great,
through the multiverses. It was so cool, man. It was so cool, right? Like,
and this is what you wanted from this show, right? You didn't want, like, I get doing Captain Carter. Like, I understand doing it that way because that was the first episode, right? They had to get you used to like changing things up. But I think by like episode 2 or 3, they should have been going this route, like go super big, like, you know. And this one felt the most ambitious, right? Outside of the Doctor Strange episode, which was super dark, but also very ambitious. More on that later. But this one really felt like it was shooting for the moon, which I appreciated. This is easily my favorite episode. Like, this jumps right to the top of the list for me.
Yep, absolutely. And it's probably going to be this and next week.
I hope so.
This was their Infinity War for What If.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to next week. I'm guessing that, you know, evil Doctor Strange, or meth Doctor Strange, is like, you know, you gotta break your oath and you gotta ask me for help, and I'm gonna hear you say it. And I was like, God damn,
yeah, you're a real asshole about it, aren't you? Jesus Christ.
So I'm and the Watcher does it. So I'm assuming that next week, the Watcher is going to call heroes from the previous multiverses that we've seen, and that's where you're gonna get your Avengers, like, pan shot.
Yeah, the 360 shot. I kind of love that. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah.
As you do, like Captain Carter, Gamora with the Thanos blade, like whoever else, you know, they probably T'Challa, I assume, as Star-Lord, right? Like, you bring all of those guys in with Doctor Strange, you know, this sort of, you know, quote unquote evil Doctor Strange, more like simp Doctor Strange. Like, this guy was a real simp.
Yeah, this is music Doctor Strange.
Right. Music Soul Child Doctor Strange. You're a Buddy.
Dr. Soul Child.
Oh, it's simp music. Sad. But I imagine that's where you go, right? Like, you bring in all of the characters from the multiverse that we've kind of grown to know, so to speak. For that 360 shot. But that's a very cool thing because, I mean, it wouldn't be shocking that this would be extended because the last episode is technically an extension of this too, right? Where Ultron shows up at the end of the Party Thor episode, right? So my guess is that Party Thor episode sort of happens, you know, obviously somewhere in between him going to all these different worlds and just destroying them. So, or maybe that's the world that all the shit goes down on. Like, it could easily be that, right? You don't have to take Thor to a different world. You just bring all those other people over there. So it could be that.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, it could literally be anything. You got the Watcher and, you know, Dr. Soulchild. I believe that you can make up some bullshit, right? Like, you can bring them into any world you want, right? Like, we haven't seen Gamora. I'm assuming that that Gamora is still loyal to her father, which is why she has, you know, the double blades and she's out for revenge, right?
Yeah.
Then you got T'Challa and Captain Carter. You got a Thor. Like, you got everybody, yo.
You just need an Iron Man.
Yeah, and look, come on, man, come on.
Yeah,
I really wish this next episode would be like 45 minutes.
Look, that's a good way. Like, you know what? I'd be fine with an hour, to be honest. Like, to really
look, I would love an hour.
Right.
I would love it. I would love an hour. Just something. Just give me more. Like that's my one like serious criticism about these shows is that they're so short.
Yeah,
like,
they are very
some
short.
of the situations are so interesting, but in order to keep the runtime, you got to kind of gotta get where you need to be.
Right. And like there was a report I saw today that apparently before the pandemic hit, the plan was that these episodes were going to be longer. I don't know what about the pandemic made them shorten them. I guess they were like, we got to get these out. Like, let's just fucking get moving. But my supposition is that they were probably closer to 45 minutes, but for some reason they felt to cut them back. So I don't know why, but that was one of the guys who was working on the show was like, no, they were actually much longer than that, which is why a lot of them have cliffhangers. So, but maybe all of the cliffhangers are all dumping into one episode, right? Like what happened with Killmonger? What happens with, the future of, Dr. Music Soul Child or whatever? Like all of those characters, you could say like, what happens to them? They're all left in a cliffhanger. The cliffhanger is the watcher's like, I need to borrow you for a second. Like this shit is getting serious over here. Just deal with this and then you go back to your boring ass lives. I don't give a fuck. But I think that would be a cool way to do it. I don't know if they will. They might just do a completely different thing. And I'm not going to be necessarily disappointed, but I think it would be really cool if they were just like, you know what, pluck these characters out of their little out of their part of the multiverse and just let them go to work. Because somebody got to figure out how to deal with him because Ultron is a fucking terrifying villain at this point. Good Lord.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
but it was like I'm going to watch that again before next week. And,
I'm gonna watch it right after the show. My nephew's here; he hasn't seen it, and I was like, "Dude, just wait until I get done." He was like, "Is that good?" I'm like, "It's that good. Like, just fucking wait." He was like, "All right, you got it." So yeah, I'm gonna watch it immediately after we get done. All right, next up, in science and tech this week, Amazon released the Amazon Astro, which is a little robot with a little screen on it as a face that can like play videos and podcasts. It's $1,000. And it's like a Roomba meets an iPad, basically. But apparently, some people are not impressed with it. According to a report from Vice, one person who worked on the robot, reportedly called it a quote, disaster that's not ready for release. It said it's absurdist nonsense. And it says it will even throw itself down a flight of stairs because it doesn't read that the stairs are there.
Yo, come on, yo. Oh my God. All right.
Yo, for $1,000, if that robot throws itself down the stairs, that is a fucking financial problem.
I don't know much about this thing. I'm not gonna, take a dump on the idea of whatever it's supposed to be, right? Like this is what technology is supposed to do.
No, I'm not mad at the idea of it.
Yeah, what it's not supposed to do is throw itself down the stairs.
It is not.
I love the time that we live in where people are able to use technology and create things that, that for the betterment of mankind or, for taking over the world, we'll go into space for no reason, whatever. Right. But like, as long as people are like creating things, it's wonderful. But
right.
I'm going to need people to make sure the shit is ready. Right. Like, I'm tired of the day of these like, hey, let's release this and then patch it day one.
Yeah, this is a video game thing, right? Like,
yeah, man,
knock it off.
I don't appreciate it, but I don't know. I mean, 5 years, maybe 5 years from now, these things will be all over the place.
I give it less time than that, to be honest. Like if this is even remotely successful, one, that price has got to come down. Like you got to drop that price.
$1,000,
yeah, $1,000 is like a real bill. Like that's a pretty serious bill for a lot of people. But I feel like if you could get it down to 500, that could make it to the point where people buy them in mass, right? And I know what and I know what people will say, which is like, I don't need a fucking surveillance robot listening to me and following me and everything else. And to that I say, are you tweeting that from your cell phone?
Right. As but they have an Alexa or a Google Home or some shit. Like
right.
You have all these things listening to you as it is, right? Like you said, everybody has a cell phone.
If you have a smartphone, you don't cast aspersions on anybody. Like I have Google Homes in my house, right? And I hear people say, "Oh, I would never have that. That's paid for. You're just setting yourself up for surveillance." Again, you're telling me this while walking around with a phone that literally sends you ads based on the shit you talk about that you never typed into that phone. Right. Like we've all sold out for the sake of like convenience for like giving away some privacy for convenience. But I just watched this commercial and this robot just brought this black woman a beer. So that's pretty good. Like I kind of like that. I don't like the Amazon marketplace of technology, so I'm going to need Google to make one of these for $500. But look, I don't have a dog right now, so that would make me more apt to buy one of these because if I had a dog, he would destroy it.
Your dog could get you your beer.
If I could train a dog to get me a beer, there's no reason for me to ever buy an Astro. I can tell you that. Also,
get one of them big Beethoven dogs. What are those dogs?
Oh, a Saint Bernard, where you keep the whiskey in the little barrel.
Yeah, there you go. It's the liquor dog.
That's the liquor dog. That's like a real thing, right?
Yeah, I know.
Do you know why? No, hold on, because this is going to be an iconic moment on our 10-year anniversary of podcasting. Do you know why they had the little barrel of whiskey, or do you think that it's because people are just drunkards?
Because people are drunks, dude. Like, what would be the reason, right? Like those dogs. All right, look. Those dogs are like winter dogs, right? Every time I see them, they're playing in the snow or whatever, and they need to keep the whiskey cold or whatever. That's their job, right? Like that's why
it's to keep the whiskey cold under their fat necks.
and they were bred that way for the mushers, right? The musher people.
That's definitely not the term, but go ahead. The musher people, great.
Yeah, the musher people. They were bred for the musher people because if the musher people got stuck and they were about to freeze to death, like then you would say, all right, Beethoven, go get me some liquor, and then Beethoven would go out to the bodega or whatever in the middle of the frozen tundra. And he would he would have him fill it up, and then he would bring it back. Why do you think bodegas have Huggies that look like whiskey bottles?
This all makes perfect sense. I like the idea of Rottweilers in the middle of New York with a little Huggy in case you get thirsty. That's what they're there for. Yeah, the idea was they were used as rescue dogs. So, like if you're like stuck in the frozen tundra, they like bring you a little bit of whiskey to bring you back.
I had it 100% right.
I don't know about 100%, but your story was certainly much more interesting. That's why Huggies are shaped like that. It's true. True. Quarter waters if you're from New York.
Quarter water.
New York niggas are so country in some ways. It's ridiculous. But yeah, look, for $1,000, this feels like too much money. But I do like the idea of it, right? Like it's like a Roomba, right? It like self charges, it like puts itself back on the charger and stuff like that. That stuff's kind of cool. But I think you're right. I think you're likely to see it in less than 5 years. But I think in 5 years they'll be pretty prevalent. And to be honest, by the time we're recording in our 50s, as we discussed, I think robots will be like household robots will be much more prevalent. So, which is kind of cool. Would you get a robot? Like a full size human robot who would help out?
You
could have a threesome with if you felt frisky about it.
I've seen a documentary that came out in 1999 called The Matrix, and I don't know if that's a good idea.
No, but you saw the other documentary starring William Smith called I, Robot.
Again, an even worse idea.
Yeah, things did not work out well in that movie either. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like 10, 20 years.
Right. I get a pet. I get a robot dog. That's the only way a dog would be in this house, is if I didn't have to clean it, pick up after it, or smell it.
Now, what if like people talk about those like robot dogs, right? That, you know, look like something out of a Terminator movie. But like, what if you could put like, what if they put like a cover over it and it made it look like a real dog?
Yeah, I want it to look like a real dog too. I want it to look like, it can look like it could be like silver or whatever. Like, you know, it can look like a robot dog, but it has to look like
like an actual dog. Yeah. Like, what about with fur? Like fake, like faux fur?
Nope, don't want it. Don't want fake fur.
You want a metallic dog. You want, like, ironically, this is named poorly. The Amazon Astro, they just used it because of alliteration. It should have been called the Amazon Rosie, right? Like that is obviously the correct name. And then the robot dog should be the Astro.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think a metal dog, like you could get it in Saint Bernard, right? Like, or you could like pick the dog style that you wanted.
Or it's modular and you can like upgrade different parts.
Oh, that's kind of dope.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's the dog from Mega Man. It's the dog from Mega Man.
There you go. It's Rush.
Rush from Mega Man. Yeah.
I want Rush from Mega Man.
No, that's fair. Like, you defeat enemies and you get their powers that you can bestow on your dog.
There you go. And then the dog turns into a hoverboard.
I mean, obviously.
That's all I want.
Or a giant spring, like, you know, like when you beat Top Man.
Exactly.
Whatever.
When I need to get on the roof but can't find the ladder, I just jump on my dog's back.
Right. He's man's best friend. This is what that's what he's designed for. No, but like, I think that would be cool. Like a metal dog that could also like do shit. Like, that would be awesome. Like a go-go gadget dog. Like, that's. Yeah. Exactly. I think I like that idea. But I think you should be able to choose the design. Like, if you want a small one or you want like a Doberman, like, but then like it plays music.
You pick your size, right? Punt dog or like lab dog or like Great Dane, right?
Right.
Like, those are the small, medium, and extra large or whatever.
Right. That's fair.
But then like, if you like, you know how dogs are like, oh, mine's a pit poodle mix or whatever you dog people are like when you're genetically experimenting on canines.
Right. Like a cadoodle or whatever nonsense.
Right. Like, you should be able to pick like, okay, I want this dog to have like a pug snout for some reason because I like ugliness, but I want it to have lab ears, right?
Right. Like, just a freak.
I want my dog to look unique.
But I think you should be able to change it on the fly too. Like that.
Exactly. You should be able to just pop that snout off, put a regular snout on.
Right.
And, pop the ears off, give it like, Doberman pinscher ears or whatever. Take the long tail off, give it a fucking Rottweiler nubby tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I don't think this is an unreasonable conversation at all between two adults. It's completely reasonable.
10 years.
10 years. This is what we're aiming for. Now, I will say this. My one concern about robot dogs, this is the dumbest fucking conversation of all time, but a true concern, and you will back me on this. My one major concern about robot dogs is that they will obviously play music because they have speakers in them, right? Like, why else would I have a robot dog? The worst part of that is niggas with like Doberman boombox dogs will just walk around with them and won't wear headphones.
You're 100% right.
You're
like 100% right.
I say,
for that reation alone, robot dogs should not exist.
Right. They cannot have their speakers should only be accessible via Bluetooth headphones. No. Like, they cannot just play out loud, like, only inside your residence. Like, I'm not getting on the subway with like, yo, this is my 5 Doberman Dolby surround sound Atmos setup. Like, nah, I don't need that. Like, shut up.
Yeah. Because you know what the next step is, right? Wireless service for your dog. And then your dog is just going to be, you can call people on your dog. And your dog.
No, I don't need that.
Right. Like that's what's gonna happen.
No, don't Amazon. Don't do that. Like no external speakers, please. That is a problem. But
see, you can't even. Dogs are so bad. You can't even have robot metal dogs. Because
no,
this is what's gonna happen.
Well, I think it's more humans. Humans are so bad. Just put your headphones on. It's really what I'm getting down to. But I do like the idea of a robot dog. That is kind of sweet. Because they don't die. Like, and then they don't die. So you don't have to worry about that. Like, you just bet, like, your dog's personality and everything they know about you gets backed up to the cloud like your phone. So you just buy a new dog and it just updates it. And it's like, oh, this one's too slow. It doesn't do all the new tricks or whatever. It doesn't run, High Sierra or Big Sur or whatever. And so you get a new dog. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Your dog's running Windows 11. Like, it's fine. Dog OS. This will be a thing. This will be a thing. You watch.
The iDog Pro Max.
Right. That's got like 2 screens and shit. Oh my God. Holy shit. It does it all. You watch. You guys are laughing now, but this is true. All right. Topics this week.
Jesus Christ.
A completely reasonable conversation.
Breaking news. Disney and Scarlett Johansson have resolved their lawsuits. Days after the first court hearing in Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow Profits Megabyte lawsuit on Disney was pushed back to March 2022. The Oscar nominee and the House of Mouse have made peace, and it was pricey for the latter. Of course it was.
Yep.
Quote, I am happy to have resolved our differences with Disney. I am incredibly proud of the work we've done together over the years and have greatly enjoyed my creative relationship with the team. I look forward to continuing our collaboration for years to come, said Scarlett Johansson, the big winner in this settlement.
Can I give the absolute reason why this got resolved today?
Yeah.
Very easily. October 6th is the day that Black Widow hits Disney Plus. Yeah, they're not trying to have that shit out there before it hits Disney Plus. No way. They were like, yo, we got a drop dead date. Hurry up. Yeah. They want it resolved. Because they don't want asshole nerds to be like, I ain't watching it because fuck Scarlett Johansson. And they don't want Scarlett Johansson fans to be like, fuck that, I'm not watching it on Disney Plus because fuck Disney. Nah, everything's resolved. We good. You good. We good. Cool. I'm going to watch this movie again.
Yeah, because people will be like, I'm canceling Disney Plus. All you need is a hashtag, cancel Disney Plus.
They don't need that.
Yeah.
Nope. October 6th, it comes out next week. They're like, look, go watch Black Widow feel free and clear to watch it with no reservations. That's exactly why this is getting resolved when it did. 100%.
Wow. Companies they're just the most transparent fucking entities on this planet. Alan Bergman, chairman at Disney Studios Content, says, we appreciate her contributions to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and look forward to working with her on a number of upcoming projects, including Disney's Tower of Terror.
How about this? If you think Scarlett Johansson's never going to work with Disney again, boy, are you wrong. Boy, are you wrong.
I mean, they're one of the largest, if not the largest. I think Warner Brothers might be the largest, but they're one of the largest movie studios ever.
Yeah.
Like, of course they're going to work with her, right? Like,
and she don't hate them. Like, that's the thing is like, this is a like, people have to remember that the way they feel about this stuff is very personal, right? Like, yeah, she wants her money, but that's money. Right? Like, this is business, right? Like, she's like, no, you owe me my money. Like, that's like, I wouldn't hate people at my job if they were like, oh, we're going to delay your check by a week. I just want my money. I'll hate you. Just give me my money.
Well, I don't hate you for that.
But, right. I mean, like, they're like, please, years brewing. But no, but like, that's a monetary thing. Like, fans often confuse, I think a lot of fans, especially with comic book movies, often confuse like financial and business things with like very personal things because the art is very personal to them, right? Like, but no, Scarlett Johansson, look, I can guarantee you once that check got signed and she was like, cool, they were already like, and we're thinking about these other things that maybe next season for What If you could come back, and she'd be like, yeah, make that money work. Like, this is business, baby. Like, this is a job for them. They like, yeah, it's, they are, I'm sure, somewhat passionate about the characters because they play them and it's them on screen, but this is a job.
Yeah, it's like sports, right? Like, fans hate the team, their rival team or whatever. But like, when they're on the field or when you're on the court, like, yeah, tensions get heated because you want to win. But like, they all hang out with each other.
Right, they're friends.
Right. Like, it's business. Like, I can't believe, why would he hang out with Tom Brady? Yo, Tom Brady's rich.
And rich.
He's probably buying dinner.
Yeah. Like, he rich too. So like, this shit doesn't matter to them. Like, and that's the thing is, like, Marvel versus DC is one of like the all-time dumbest things to me. It's like, how could, I hate the DC stuff and I love the Marvel stuff, or vice versa. And it's like, or like, you feel like you have to shit on a movie from the other studio. Like, the ones that I shit on is because I don't like them. It's not because it's from DC. Like, there are DC movies I like. Like it's fine. I don't have any sort of like weird allegiance to that. But like, people take that stuff really personal, and it's like, dude, that like these people have been playing in both universes. Like, they don't care. They're just like, I want to have fun and I want to make money. That's why Dave Bautista's like, yeah, I love playing Drax. Can I play Bane? Like, he don't give a fuck.
Look at Idris Elba, right? He was Heimdall and Bloodsport.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
He don't care.
You think John Cena wouldn't take a Marvel role? Of course he would. Of course he would. Look at James Gunn.
Right.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, he should get the reins of that entire fucking DC universe, right? But yeah, of course. You think Margot Robbie wouldn't take some role in, if she thought it was like a one-shot kind of role in the MCU? Of course she would. Of course. Yeah. Like, there's nothing wrong with them jumping back and forth. So like, yeah, I don't see a situation where like Scarlett Johansson and Disney never work together. I would be shocked if within 5 years she's not on the big screen for a major role in a Disney movie. It might not be in the MCU because obviously her character died, but I could totally see her being like top billing in a Disney movie within 5 years. Easily.
Isn't that what Tower of Terror is? Isn't that her vehicle?
Oh, is that an actual movie? That's not the ride or anything?
Yeah, that's a movie.
So there you go. If she was that upset, she'd jump out of that movie. She's not.
Yeah.
She just wants her money.
Right. So I think it's a remake of a movie. But yeah, it's Johansson to star in Tower of Terror movie for Disney. So
yeah, and when is that? Like next week? Like, I mean,
look, it's coming out soon, right? They're already talking. If they're talking about it, like, it's got a name and all that. Like, right. They're, it's coming out before you think it's coming out.
Yeah, on June 23rd, 2021, it was reported that Walt Disney Pictures was developing a film based on the attraction. Yep, starring Scarlett Johansson. So who knows when, but maybe 2022, 2023. So yeah, just about 2 years after all of this is blown over, and most people have forgotten about it. Yep.
I never understood. I understand having a preference, right? A brand preference.
Sure.
Right. But I never understood the people that ride or die for their brands, not their personal brand, but the brand that they have a preference for. I'm thinking Xbox people hating PlayStation people and vice versa, right? I mean, that's not why I hate Brad. Brands.
No, Brad, because of his PlayStation 4 love. That's not why I hate him. I do, but that's not the only reason.
Well, yeah, because you're not an Xbox person. If you were an Xbox person, then you would 100% hate Brad. You would be bitter rivals to the end.
I have an Xbox. It's in a box, but I have an Xbox.
Does it have an X on it?
Might as well. I'm getting rid of it. I do not play video games.
Yeah, somebody explain why you give a fuck about brands like that, because I never understood it.
It's a bit weird because you're not making any money.
Yeah, like the brand is an extension of them, but like you're better. You're better than just the things you like. You know what I mean?
Not everybody. No. I think they hope they are, but not everybody.
Well,
they should be.
Yeah, we'll get to that right now. Star Wars, their fans are lunatics.
Yes, they are. They are fanatics.
Star Wars. I'm talking about the psychos. All right.
Yeah, like Leonardo.
Yeah, I see. I wasn't even talking about.
Nah, fuck him. I saw what he wrote. Fuck him. He's right.
I mean, he's right.
He's right.
You
no,
are annoying.
No, I know. No, he's right. My answer was the most obnoxious thing I could think to write. Actually, it was. I don't give a shit about that. Go ahead.
The Book of Boba Fett is coming out on December 29th on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Look, okay, I'm with it, right? The Book of Boba Fett stars Tamura Morrison and Ming-Na Wen, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Robert Rodriguez, Kathleen Kennedy, and Colin Wilson are the executive producers. Yada yada yada.
And I read, by the way, Robert Rodriguez directed some of the episodes of this season, not all of them.
Even better.
Yeah, I agree.
The show finds the legendary bounty hunter Boba Fett and mercenary Fennec Shand navigating the galaxy's underworld when they return to the sands of Tatooine to stake their claim on the territory once ruled by Jabba the Hutt and his crime syndicate. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm very much looking forward to seeing Boba Fett be the badass that everyone swore he was when he wasn't.
And Micah is speaking about before he showed up on The Mandalorian, yeah, which is fair because he never did anything.
I'm talking about The Empire Strikes Back, where he and Return of the Jedi, when in one movie he was just like, he's worth a lot to me, and then he pushed Han Solo around like a cart in a Walmart, and then an intergalactic
chocolate bar.
Right, and then in Return of the Jedi, when he used his jetpack, and then it immediately malfunctioned, or he got shot out the air or whatever, and he fell into a sand vagina. So that's not badass, yo. And
no, he just looked cool.
Count.
Right,
none of those books count anymore. So no, he wasn't a badass. He's a badass when he went to the Mandalorian. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in this.
Boy, did they redeem that character. I mean,
they really did, in my eyes.
I know that, and I'm of the same mindset, right? Like, I think the coolest thing about Boba Fett is that he looked cool. Like, that's just it. And I think that's how most people really, like, if you really ask them, like, outside of the books, he just looked cool. Like, it was just a cool design. He just looked like a badass. And everyone was like, yeah, he's a bounty hunter. Like, that's cool. The Mandalorian made him cool, like not the show, but like the character of the Mandalorian made him cool because you got to see a guy who looks similar to him be a badass. And then you got to see other Mandalorians who also were badass. And then they brought him in and it was like, oh shit, he really is a badass. And like, so it kind of tripled down on the whole thing. And when he showed up, he was fucking awesome. You're like, oh shit, he's doing all of the stuff that you have been waiting for 40 years to see him do. And he finally did it. So that was very cool.
Now look, I don't mean to be a dick. And I certainly have been known to throw stones while sitting in my glass house. But I'm not on TV. I'm gonna need Mr. Morrison.
You're an asshole.
LBs. I need him to lose a couple of LBs. Like, yeah, you don't have to be like you, but he got to look like me, right? Like you got to look good in a suit. Okay,
that's fair.
Like, that's all I'm asking.
It's so funny because that
good in a suit.
That's funny because you had a picture of you in a suit recently. I was like, yo, you look just like your dad. Like this shit was hilarious to me. Yeah, no, that's a fair, like, because he looked like a badass, but he was like also wearing like a judge's robe under his like Mandalorian outfit.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, like, okay. I mean, I get it. I get it. I ain't mad at you.
Stones, right?
Yeah, I ain't mad at you.
Like, but at the same time, like, you're getting paid. You're standing next to Ming-Na Wen, for God's sakes. You don't have any excuse, yo.
Now, in fairness, in this image, he's in the full suit, right? Like he doesn't have the like, he's not wearing like a dhoti underneath. So he's in the full suit. So I'm thinking maybe my man slimmed down a little bit. You know, give him a little room. Like he eating good. I ain't mad at him, but I just need him to be. I need him to be exactly this image, which is just a perpetual badass who just fucks people up just because that's what he wants to do. I look forward to it, man. I really do. I think this is going to be really fun. That episode was amazing. I may need to go back and watch that episode before this series starts. But I am highly looking forward to this. I will say this, the live action stuff on Disney Plus, this is like pretty much the top of the heap, right? Like this is the top notch shit so far. Like I think we've gotten what, 1 or 2 series on Disney Plus that have been live action from the Marvel universe. 2, right? So far. So we'll see what like Miss Marvel is. We'll see what Hawkeye is, but I don't think they compare to how good The Mandalorian has been so far.
I mean, all of these things have been nominated for Emmys.
Yeah.
So they're all very good in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And I think this is just personal taste. You're spoiled for riches at this point. Like, you got a lot of good stuff. Like, you got a lot of good stuff that you can choose from. Like, if you're not a Marvel person but you're a Star Wars person, you got a couple of stellar shows. If you're a Marvel person, you got a lot of really good shows. So,
right.
Look, they're releasing these things. If I paid for Disney Plus monthly, they're releasing these things at a proper clip, I think.
Yep. Yeah, you signed up for the 3 or 4 year deal like I did, right?
Yeah, I signed up for the 3-year deal. Like, whatever, yo, I'm in. You got me. I'm in. But when I do have to start paying monthly, or if I can just redo the 3-year deal, I'll just do that again.
Yep.
But they're coming out at a decent clip now. Because I still don't use Disney Plus for anything other than these things.
Yeah, I find myself only watching Star Wars in Marvel things. Now, that being said, there are other shows like there's, like the Doogie Howser show and stuff like that. I just don't have time. Like, I'd like to check it out. I just don't have time to watch them. But there's a lot of my daughter is slowly, and your son is too, coming of the age of like the Disney animated movies are something they can watch. And that's when it'll get used a lot. My daughter's watched, it's been on and she's been like tangentially in the room. Like the 2 Nemo movies, like she really likes those and she watched a little bit of Cars, but like she's not super paying attention to them. But that I think that's when it'll get like super used. She'll watch it all the time. So, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I'm willing to fit the bill for right now. I mean,
oh yeah, get ready. Get ready. You didn't have a younger sibling, did you? No.
No.
Yeah, they like to watch things over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've caught that. You want to watch something else? No. Like, all right.
Nope. I want to watch Usher sing the ABCs with Elmo again for the 430th time.
My daughter really likes the Halle Berry Sesame Street one where she explains what a nibble is. A nibble is a tiny bite. Like, yeah, all right, I got it. She does some real serious acting in that episode. But yeah, the Book of Boba Fett, I'm all in, man. Looks super good.
Well, this year's Disney Plus releases have been dominated by one stellar Marvel Studios series after another. There's a lot of Star Wars content coming in the not so distant future. We just spoke of the Book of Boba Fett, and And soon fans will be sent a little further into the past with Andor. The series will reveal the origins of Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna, and explore a somewhat murky era of the Star Wars timeline as we catch up with the fan favorite hero long before he linked up with Jyn Erso for their game-changing mission to secure the plans for the first Death Star. I always get Diego Luna confused with the other dude.
Oh, who played Ghost Rider?
What's that dude's name?
Is that Gabriel Luna?
No. Who was he was in like Narcos? Or was that Diego Luna? No, that's not him. Who's the dude from Narcos? Who's the dude from Wonder Woman who played Max Lord?
Oh, that's the dude who plays the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I get those two confused because I'm a bigot. Are you excited for this? I can't say
Pedro Pascal, by the way. It was like I drew a total blank.
Yes. I can't say that I'm excited for this just yet.
I would say I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm excited for it. I need to see a trailer. I loved Rogue One. I think it is one of the best live action Star Wars movies, easily. I put it in the top 3 actually. Okay, that's fine. Like, look, if I'm going by what's been live action under Star Wars for TV shows, I go by The Mandalorian. Like, it was great. The first 2 seasons were excellent. Season 2 was much better than season 1, and it was only because season 1 was like kind of getting its legs, and I love season 1. So if it's more of that, great. I mean, the thing is, they have so much to mine from, you know, not just like their own sort of like building the ship as they go stories, you know, for this stuff, but they have all the books and stuff, whether they made them canon or not, whether it's even the same character, but you decide you want to pull things from other characters and ingest them into this character. They have a lot to mine from. So that world always has been dying to feel more flushed out. So yeah, I'm here for it. Like, do it.
I appreciate them taking a break from Jedis for a moment.
Oh my God. Yes.
To focus on, like, really, like you said, fleshing out the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
So that when Jedis come back, they'll feel like badasses again. You know what I mean? There's a series of books and, you know, multimedia out right now that deal with the High Republic, where Jedi were at the height of their powers. And I don't know if they plan to mine from that, since that is, you know, official canon. But they could. There are interesting characters there. And you got all the Jedis you could possibly imagine. So if that comes to fruition, that'll be cool to see, but it'll be really cool because, like, we're taking a break from Jedis right now. Yeah. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Look, I just don't think that it's necessary to only spend such long periods of time dealing with that one aspect of the universe. There's so much more. And like The Mandalorian really proved that. Like, you never needed to see a lightsaber except for in the second season. And it was awesome, right? Like, when you did see it, you were like, oh shit. Like, that's how it should be. It shouldn't be like just super commonplace. But then you also have that series coming, right? Ahsoka. So, like, I have to imagine that gets announced to be finished, you know, filming here pretty soon. So, like, this comes out, I think Andor probably comes out early 2022 sometime. You know, probably somewhere between Hawkeye and Miss Marvel, or just after Miss Marvel, is my guess. And then you probably a month or two later, you probably get Ahsoka as well. So again, that's fine by me. Like, it totally works. So more of that. I'm okay with it.
Amazon Studios has officially issued a series order for the much buzzed about The Boys spinoff, which will follow a group of young superheroes attending America's only college exclusively for young adult superheroes, which happens to be owned and operated by the Vought Corporation. The official description calls the Untitled show, quote, an irreverent R-rated series that explores the lives of hormonal competitive supes as they put their physical, sexual, and moral boundaries to the test, competing for the best contracts in the best cities. It's part college show, part Hunger Games, with all the heart, satire, and raunch of The Boys. It is being headed up by the Agent Carter showrunners, Michelle Fazekas and Tara Butters. Okay. Look, The Boys is really, really fun.
Yes.
Part of it for me is because people are like grown, right? Because I'm getting at that point in my adulthood where young people just annoy me. So I'm curious when they say like, college kids.
Is this going to be like F-Boy Island?
You know what I'm saying? But look, I'll give it a shot because I really enjoy The Boys. I really do. And it's a nice little palate cleanser from all of the, wholesome superheroics that Marvel does.
Oh yeah. No, these guys are on the absolute other end of that.
Yeah. And I need that kind of variety. And I think the genre needs that kind of variety.
Yes, it does.
If it's going to sustain itself. Like, you say what you want about Venom. Apparently that movie is bonkers. And it's done in a way that is unlike other superhero movies.
Can we pause there for a second? I'd like to read. This is a perfect segue. After 10 years, you still set them up, and I will knock them down for you. The Richard Roper from the Chicago Sun-Times wrote the title of his review for Venom. Their Let There Be Carnage. Sigh. Quote. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, that's wrong. Richard Roper gave it a 2 out of 4. He ended his review, sigh. This was just cut off. No, Mike LaSalle from the San Francisco Chronicle wrote the following. It's the worst movie Tom Hardy ever made. It's the worst movie Woody Harrelson ever made. And it's the worst movie Michelle Williams ever made. Original score, 0 out of 4. And then the next review, I don't know who wrote it, starts with, it's short, cheap looking, and maybe made for 8-year-olds. It's only fun if the idea of fun is being screamed at. Look, I didn't even realize that movie came out this week. Yeah, it was just it is completely fallen off my radar.
You know what else? I mean, at least we're consistent, right? We did the same thing with the trailer. Remember?
No, twice.
Yeah,
Twice. Dude, this movie cannot stick in my brain as like, and I'm not trying to do it like to be funny. I cannot give a shit about this movie. I really can't. I couldn't tell you when Morbius comes out either. Couldn't tell you. If there's not a screener for that, if we don't have a screener for that, yo, I'm not seeing it. I'm not. Why?
I forgot that Morbius was coming out.
Yeah, well, that's probably for the best. So yeah. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be a movie.
But yeah, look. The Boys, I'm all about it. The spinoff, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Look, I think those first 2 seasons were amazing, and I think season 2 was tremendous. Like, I really think it was easily one of the best takes on the superhero genre I've seen in a long time. You know, outside of like a traditional sort of take. And like, I know people were like, I didn't like the original comic, so I'm not going to like this. I'm not going to watch it. Yo, it's not like the original comic. It's so much better than the original comic. It just has a lot more to say. It's not just, dick jokes and just madness. Yeah. Though there is that too. But it's always fun. I don't know when season 3 is coming out. They haven't said, but I can't wait because they're going to do the Hero-gasm storyline as well. Okay. All right. I don't even think you can find Hero-gasm on Comixology right now. Yeah, they don't even sell it, which is crazy. Or they didn't for a while. Warner Media CEO concedes that the rushed rollout of HBO Max day and date. Yeah, you think? So Jason Kyler said he rushed the communication of his decision to place Warner Brothers' 2021 film slate on HBO Max and should have, quote, taken the better part of a month to speak with more than 170 individuals impacted from the day and date shift. He says, quote, I'll be the first one to say, and the responsibility rests on my shoulders, that in hindsight, we should have taken a better part of a month to have over 170 conversations, which is the number of participants that are in our 2021 film slate. We tried to do that in a compressed period of time, less than a week, because of course there was going to be leaks and there was going to be everybody opining on whether we should do this or not do this. Look, I get not wanting people to like opine about it, but they're going to opine about it anyway.
Yeah.
Like the second you release the information, everyone was like, this is the worst thing ever, or this is the best thing ever. Like, it's fine. People are going to talk about it. That's what the news is for. And that's what fans are going to talk about. But as far as taking a week to make the decision, you could have called all of the directors from every movie you released in a day.
Yeah, they only had, 12?
Yeah, 12 movies. Right. Like, you could have just called all those people, like, in a day or two and been like, hey, we got a major thing to talk about. Like, we needed a month. Not really. You didn't need a month, but you shouldn't have just announced the shit. Like, there were directors who were like, wait, what?
You could have given them a heads up. Like, you don't even have to tell them, like, hey, what's your opinion on this? You could at least give them a heads up. I think that is what burned a lot of the directors. It would burn me. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it would piss me off.
Not even like, especially because, like, again, some of these people's money is attached to, first weekend gross.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, you could at least give them a heads up. Even if you've already made the decision, you can at least give them a heads up. But
yeah. A week is pretty fast, man.
I am surprised that they did not go back on the word. I really am.
Oh, you thought like maybe they would just be like, now go to the theater?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Once theaters started opening back up and stuff, like Dune, when they were like, no, we're sticking with Dune on HBO Max, I was shocked because Dune is a big movie, and that's that's a movie that they need a payday for. Tenet, they didn't release it on Tenet, but on HBO Max, but I don't know. Part of me thinks that they were trying to. Part of me thinks that they wanted to put Christopher Nolan in his place, and he just wouldn't budge. But
but he learned. Yeah, but he was just like, all right, I'm gonna release it anyway, and that movie did not do well.
Right.
Yeah,
he released it like it just came out at the wrong time, man.
Right, it was bullheaded on his part. It really was.
Yeah. I really thought they were going to once things started opening back up, I thought they would have changed their mind and went back on their word when it came to Dune, and especially The Matrix. Like,
yeah,
like Dune, I get it, right? Like Dune is Dune, right?
Right. Like
this is The Matrix,
right? This is a movie that has the potential to make them $1 billion. Like it does. I personally, with the Delta variant, I would have pushed The Matrix back a year. I would have. Like, look, I get it. Yo, that's a major payday, man. That's a major payday, or at least 6 months.
So yeah, let it come out in the summertime. Let it come out in the summertime,
right?
Of 2022.
Yeah, I think
I would stack anything up against the Matrix, Marvel, whatever. I would stack anything up.
Yo, it's the Matrix. Like you don't get the Marvel Cinematic Universe without some of the CGI and filming techniques and things like that, or the insane fandom of the Matrix, right? Like there is also, like, the Matrix is so prevalent, like, in the zeitgeist, that after a third movie, that universally everyone was like, this isn't good. And the directors of that series not making really anything that was like blowing people's skirt up for years, that when they were like, we're doing the Matrix 4, and people were like, okay. And then the trailer came out, people were like, yeah, I'm all in. Like, that's how powerful that movie is. Now, I would have kept that to the summer. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, kick it 6 months. Yeah. Like, I'm not putting that HBO Max. Yeah, in 45 days after it comes out, get the fuck out of here. Like, no, go to the theater to see my movie. Like,
I'm okay. I mean, look,
I'm not
saying I don't want this to happen, right? I'm very much looking forward to.
It's on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to celebrating the birth of baby Jesus by getting real existential.
Right.
Okay.
By dealing with some serious Jesus imagery with Keanu Reeves. Just go ahead and hit play on that. It's fine. So look, I get it. I absolutely am. Look, we got a screener the other day, announcing a screener for Dune. I was like, I'm not going to that. For what? For what? It's 2 screeners. One of them, and they're both with full audiences. The unwashed masses, I think not. But one of them is like October 11th, right? Which is 10 day or 11 days before it's released on HBO Max. And then the other one was the 19th. And it's like an baby IMAX version. 3 days before it goes on HBO Max, and I was like, no. I'm good.
Reviews aren't embargoed. I've seen
no, they're not. Yeah, they're not embargoed. No. But, nah, man. Like Brad is a big Denis Villeneuve fan, as am I, and as are you. And I was like, Brad, you trying to see this? He was like, I'll go. I was like, bet. Like, I'm not going. I'm gonna watch it at home.
Yeah,
like,
I can wait.
I can wait 3 days. It's fine.
And it sucks because I would want to see this in the theater.
Of course.
Like, yo, you're making it really difficult for me to want to support you theatrically. Like,
I mean, but also at the same time, I don't want to have to sit and wear a mask for almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like, because at that screening, it was like, masks are not mandatory. No thanks.
Come on.
No thanks. Yeah. No thanks. No, fuck out of here. No thanks. Not again, not for a general audience. Like, not while my kid's unvaccinated. So, like, that's my whole thing. Once my kid's vaccinated and I'm vaccinated, rock and roll. We can do our thing. But nah, I was like 3 days. My couch is super comfortable, and I can eat whatever I want here, and I don't have to sneak it in. Nah.
Yeah. I don't have to sneak a potbelly sandwich into the theater.
Potbelly sandwich. It's ridiculous. Also delicious. Last but certainly not least in topics this week, Netflix spills its top 10 shows and movies by hours watched for the first time. This is really, really fascinating. So, well, let's talk about their most popular. Okay, where do we want to start? Do you want to talk about their most popular shows by the amount of hours they've been watched? Or their most. Okay, so I guess this is TV shows. Yeah, here's TV shows by popularity and then movies. Which one do you want to deal with first?
Let's eat the vegetables before we have our dessert. We'll do the television first.
Okay.
I imagine that things would be skewed a bit because some television shows are shorter than other television shows.
Sure.
Right? Like,
sure.
Yeah, but okay.
Number 10, we'll start 10 to 1 by watch hours. 381 million hours, Ginny and Georgie in Georgia. I have no idea what that is. 426 million hours, Money Heist Part 3. 427 million hours, Stranger Things Season 2. 457 million hours, You Season 2 at number 7. God damn. See, dude, I told you, you gotta watch the show. Super good. 476 million hours at number 6, 13 Reasons Why, Season 1. Then just above that, 496 million hours, Season 2 of 13 Reasons Why. Number 4, 541 million hours, The Witcher. Which is pretty...
I gotta watch that, man.
Dude, that's pretty impressive. Number 4? God damn. Like, that's... And that's in the first 28 days.
Yeah, I gotta
Jesus Christ, I didn't realize that. Which is a fair thing, right? Not over time, but just in 28 days. 582 million hours at number 3 is Stranger Things Season 3, which I never finished. I need to go back and watch that. 619 million hours, Money Heist Part 4. Which everyone...
Money Heist?
It's a Brazilian show, I want to say.
So it's not like that spinoff of the Zack Snyder zombie
No.
movie?
No.
All right.
What was the Zack Snyder movie?
Yo.
What was that called?
Army of the Dead.
Yeah, that one, the spinoff is Army of Thieves. That's coming out pretty soon. It's coming out in October.
Okay. I was like, yo, what the, like, huh?
No. This is season 4 of Money Heist. Which I hear a lot of really good things. So, but I mean, that's 2 seasons of Money Heist in the top 10. That's pretty impressive. And again, that's mostly probably the vast majority of people who are watching that are watching it subtitled, proving that people watch foreign shows, right? Like Netflix viewers actually watch quite a bit of foreign television, which is cool.
You know what? I'm willing to go against you on that. I 100%.
You think it's dubbed?
There's a dub.
Oh, yeah. There definitely is. Yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah, people are not reading, but they are.
Don't fucking read.
Get out of here. Yeah, what am I thinking? Like, even 2 Transformers told me that. But at least they're watching foreign television, right? You're watching, what is it, Squidbillies or whatever the fuck show it is. You talked about that. Are you watching that dubbed or are you watching it?
No, I'm watching that subtitle.
Oh wow, look at you, fancy.
You know, I'm cultured.
Yes.
I'm watching a foreign television show about grown people playing childish games and risking their lives all for money.
Yeah, like adults do, right?
Yeah.
And then number 1 at 625 million hours is Bridgerton.
Oh wow, yeah. I guess they weren't lying. That the number 1 movie series on Netflix of all time. I
mean, not only were they not lying, but boy, did they pay $100 million to the right person.
Yeah, I think they made out, man. They
yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, I don't know what ABC was thinking.
Yeah,
like, give that woman her park pass, man.
Yeah, that's a fucked up reason to leave. But I'm not mad at it.
She knew her worth.
What's that?
She knew her worth.
Yeah, apparently, apparently she did. Now this is interesting because they have a whole thing about if you only watched Bridgerton, or excuse me, if you only watched a show for at least 2 minutes in the first 28 days, the numbers are very different. I'll just go 10-1. Emily in Paris, Sweet Tooth, The Queen's Gambit, Tiger King, Money Heist Part 4, Stranger Things Part 3, Sex Life Season 1, The Witcher, Lupin, and then Bridgerton. So Bridgerton's still at the top for, I guess, the shortest watched, right? Like people are like, nah, I don't like this. But still at 82 million people or 82 million views, which is pretty amazing. So, all right, movies. Number 10, Murder Mystery, 170 million hours. The Old Guard at number 9, 186 million. Army of the Dead. Yep, The Old Guard was good. You got beat out by Zack Snyder. Army of the Dead, 187 million.
Did not care for that movie.
No, that movie, and it was long. So there's only like 5 people watched it because it was like 3 hours. For no damn reason. Number 7, Enola Holmes, at 190 million hours. Number 6, I haven't seen that. Have you? You said you did?
I want to see it.
It's on my list. I heard it was very good. It was like pretty fun. Yeah. There's a sequel on the way as well. At 197 million hours, Spencer Confidential. Makes sense. It's a crowd pleaser, man.
Say hello to your mother for me.
Yo, it's a crowd pleaser, man. It is. It really fucking is. It's stupid, but it's a crowd pleaser. And look, I can't wait for the second one. Like, whatever.
I mean, most of these Netflix movies, like exclusive movies, are just kind of dumb fun. Like, that's all I want.
Speaking of dumb fun, 205 million hours, 6 Underground at number 5.
Yo, I might rewatch this.
Yo, I love that movie. It's fun.
It was dumb fun.
It's super dumb fun. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, give me 7 Underground or 5 Underground, whatever. I'll watch it. I don't give a shit. Number 4, The Kissing Booth 2 at 209 million. The Irishman at 215 million. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that it, 1, is a Scorsese film, and 2, it was nominated for an Oscar. So people were like, I guess I'll put in 4 hours. So only 5 people watched this one too. I can't find the time to sit and watch that. This is pretty good. At 231 million hours, Extraction with Chris Hemsworth, which we forgot to put on the docket this week. I mean, it's not much of a trailer, but Extraction 2 is coming.
Yeah, Netflix had a weekend thing where they called it Tadum, right?
Yeah.
Like as an onomatopoeia for their sound effect. And they announced a bunch of new stuff coming, like the last season of Ozark and stuff like that. And Ozark Extraction 2 was announced. # Rake Lives, which is the stupidest fucking marketing campaign that is 100% going to work.
Yeah, it is. That movie was great. And dude, I told you he was alive. I told you.
Nah, yo. Nah. That dude was dead. And then they saw 231 million hours. And they were like, Rake Lives.
I love how you were like, no, it's a manifestation of that crazy little boy's mind. I was like, nah, yo. Chris Hemsworth is alive. Can't kill him. Yo, he got shot in the neck. No, he would have been dead. Get the fuck out of here.
Is he going to talk through a tracheotomy machine? I'm oily.
I mean, he might as well.
I'm Tyler Rake.
Tyler Rake. That is a
Vegemite. Like, all right, yo.
It's a quintessential action movie hero name because it's dumb as fuck. Like I sat and watched. My nephew was here last week too, and he hadn't seen Rocky 4, which is a shame. I need to yell at his father about it.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, like
well, congratulations. He's now in America.
Right. Like, did you even care about this country before? And we were watching, he was like, I don't know why you guys are saying this movie is stupid. This movie's great. I was like, yeah, it's great and dumb. But he hadn't seen that, so we watched that. Yo, that movie's a tight 90 minutes, by the way. Like, it
I remember.
Yeah, like, Apollo Creed got murdered in like the first 15 minutes. They were like, we got moves to make, like, super fast.
You know, we can't waste time when we trying to, solve the Cold War.
Right, we got to beat communism in 90 minutes or less. But he hadn't seen that, so we watched that, and then I made a reference to Cobra, and he was like, I don't know what that is. I was like, so I had to show him the opening scene of Cobra. Like, speaking of 80s action heroes with stupid names, Marion Cobretti. Like, these names are so fucking dumb.
Has he seen Commando?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. No.
Okay. We might have to watch that this weekend.
I mean, look, I might have to come over.
Yo, Commando is so insane. Oh my God. I wonder, has he seen that? Oh yeah. Okay. We might have to watch that Friday night, because that's when we watched Rocky 4. Commando that's the top notch action movie. Like, it's so insane. So you're just going to carry a tree around? All right. That's cool. Whatever. Fucking that goddamn movie. And coming in at number 1 for most popular Netflix movies, 282 million hours, Bird Box.
Bird Box.
That was a big phenomenon. A lot of people talked about that. I never watched it, but a lot of people talked about it.
I was about to say, have you watched it?
No.
Jesus Christ, Bird Box. I mean, look, I didn't hate the movie, but the movie was fucking dumb, yo. Like, I remember it being a phenomenon, but
yeah,
it had to have come out when people were just like didn't have nothing to do.
I feel like it got marketed really well because Sandra Bullock was in it, right? Like, so people were just like, "Oh, this is a real movie," and then they turned out it's like this is not a real movie. This is Bird Box. This is a bad movie. But
yeah, man.
Yeah, I think because Sandy was in it, I think that was a lot of people's draw. So, all right, so there you go.
Wow.
All right, what the fuck brought you by JTD?
It would probably help if I was prepared, but you know, after 10 years, you would think I would know that it's my time. Oh, God damn it. Okay. All right, JTD. Rats, quote, as big as cats.
I'm sorry. I just saw my title. It's insane.
Through toilets. This is my worst nightmare. And every time I have to take a shit, I'm going to be looking in the bowl to make sure that there's not a big fucking rat to come out.
Yeah, no, you should.
People have been claiming for years that rodents are getting big enough to rival their feline foes. But lockdown appears to have ramped things up. Last year, pictures in the Post imply that rats in this location have grown as high as the city's famous liver building. Their cousins in this other location. This is all in Europe, okay? Their cousins in Norwich don't seem to have inherited the same supersized abilities, but have been called monster rats nonetheless. Some dude from Ace Pest Control is the latest in a long line of rat catchers to claim the one he's seeing at the moment are just bigger than he's ever seen before. The rodent population is getting bigger and braver. They used to work around us, but now they're gaining access they wouldn't have attempted before. They're letting themselves into people's houses and businesses. You know, this is this dude warns residents to watch their toilets as rats are gaining access to homes via sewage pipes.
Nope.
I was called on one. You got to move at that point.
No, you just leave the country. Like, it's fine. Just leave the country.
I was called on one job in Norwich, and the customer could barely speak. She was in so much shock. Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah, I get
it. She'd been using the bathroom and heard a noise and looked down, and it was in the toilet bowl. And this was happening more and more frequently. Yo, I can't.
Yo, just close the lid and flush it. Get the fuck out.
She was on it. So she's, in midstream. And then this rat is like, I'm not into water sports. And then she was like, oh, shit.
Lemon party. Ah! That's really, really disgusting. No, thank you. No, I would move.
Lockdowns and the pandemic forced rats to change their behavior as normal sources of food, such as restaurants, were now closed. So, all right, well, we're just going to roll up in your house. See, this is another reason to get fucking vaccinated, man.
Yeah, do you really want this in the U.S.?
What reasons do you need?
This is a pretty good reason to get vaccinated. This might be my number one reason to get vaccinated, to be honest.
Yeah, man.
Good
Nobody
Lord.
wants toilet rats. God.
No, if that happens in the U.S., that's it. That's it for me. I'm moving to the moon. Like, I have to go. My people need me.
Yeah. Oh, just a big old picture of a big wet rat coming out of a toilet bowl. Thanks, JTD. Jesus Christ.
Well, I bet I can beat that as far as the title goes. I assure you I can. The second this reloads, because it is pretty damn awful. Come on, article. What the fuck? Great.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna look at it because
it'll tell you.
Oh God!
It'll tell you right away.
Oh Jesus! All right.
Can you just read the title for me because my computer is acting crazy?
Okay. Man ejaculates out of his anus for 2 years before seeking help.
How many years you going? How many years you going before you go to the doctor?
Let's see. Let's convert this to where's a year? Where's a year? I don't calendar year. Okay, and let's control this to okay. 1 calendar year. So I went to Google and I did the conversion for count 1 calendar year to the shortest amount of time possible. 3.154 E plus 16 nanoseconds.
Yeah.
Is what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, that's a problem. But allow me to read a little bit more. A 33-year-old man sought medical attention after 5 days of pain in his testicles. This turned out to be the latest in a long line of problems in that general area for him. For the past 2 years, he had been passing gas in his urine. Excuse me. Farting out of his dick, I suppose, is the technical term. This is the one that would do it for me. I think I'd be done. Urinating fecal matter. No, absolutely not. And passing a substantial amount of urine and semen from his rectum. And the article says there isn't a fancy medical word for it. That's how rare it is. Jesus. Yo, urinating fecal matter is fucking disturbing. And that there is a medical term for that. Feculoria. And farting out of your dick is pneumaturia? Pneumaturia? Yeah, pneumaturia. No. Absolutely not. All in all, liquids, solids, and gases were not going out of the passage they traditionally emerged from, long before the pain in his testicles prompted him to finally seek treatment. The team who published their case study in a journal, because this guy was so fucked up, found the patient to have a swollen testicle. Lab showed a sign of urinary tract infection, while a digital rectal exam showed signs of a problem in his rectal wall. A CT scan produced a much better look at the problem that can be seen with a finger. Okay. The scan showed a gas-filled structure. Further tests confirmed the presence of an abnormal passageway between the urethra and the rectum, through which the various fluids and solids had been passing, as well as repairing the fistula through surgery. The team looked for possible causes of the problem, but ruled out anything such as tuberculosis, inflammatory bowel disease, rectal trauma, or penetration. The story you'll be glad to hear has a happy ending. I guess they were able to fix it with surgery. Good for them.
Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine, man. I just, goddamn.
No, that's a terrible confluence of events. I don't know another way of saying that, but it ain't good.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So next time you're on JTD's TikTok as he's making cinnamon toast crunch French toast.
Yeah, I saw that.
You can think about the man pissing out of his ass and pooping out of his dick.
And make sure you comment. Like, hey, remember that time? No, don't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't do that, man.
Say something nice, like, "Hey, I really like this cinnamon toast crunch French toast. I can't wait to piss out the poop."
Right after that,
poop out the piss.
Oh my god!
God damn it!
So good. All right. Next up from there is trailers. There's a second trailer for The Harder They Fall. This is the very black Western that Netflix has coming, starring Regina King, Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Lakeith Stanfield, Zazie Beetz. I think that's everyone I can think of off the top of my head. Danielle Deadwyler. And Dion Cole. Oh, and Delroy Lindo.
Danielle Deadwyler sounds fucking awesome.
That's a great name.
A hell of a name.
Yeah, that's a great name. Yeah, this looks a lot of fun. And in this trailer, we get a little bit more of the story. And it looks like the story is going to pit Idris Elba versus Jonathan Majors, and Regina King against Zazie Beetz, which is kind of dope. I like that. I like that they're going with black hero, black villain instead of like going with the trope of like black heroes versus white villains. Like this doesn't need to be about white people at all.
No, it doesn't. They are ancillary to the story.
Yeah.
Which, you know, this trailer clearly illustrates that, right? Because I thought, you know, me being a racist, I thought all the black people were united, right? When I saw that first trailer.
Right.
But no, it appears, you know, from the look of it, it seems that Jonathan Majors is, while not our hero per se, he is, he has a grievance with Idris Elba, and it's probably justified, right? So
yeah, probably.
I'm very much looking forward to this, especially as someone who is not a fan of Westerns. I do not give a fuck about Westerns at all.
Oh, really?
And I think it's because you don't see a lot of people that look like us in Westerns.
That's a fair point. That's a very fair point.
So I never really cared, right? Like I like the aesthetic, right? Like I like the macho bravado-ness of it.
Right.
But at the same time, like I never really gave a shit.
Right.
And
that's fair.
Now I'm kind of giving a shit. Now this is what I hope does not happen. This is a very good trailer. It's cut very well. The music in it is awesome, right?
Yeah, especially that ending with all the bullets and stuff like that was very cool.
Yeah. I desperately hope that the music in the trailer is not indicative of what is in the movie.
I don't like when they put modern rap music over like period type piece things. I generally am not a fan of that.
They did that with that Madam C.J. Walker.
Yeah, I know. That was one of your big gripes.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I remember you were like, no, I refuse to watch this for that reason.
I couldn't watch anymore. I watched one episode and I was just like, oh, this is a thing? Well, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Trailer wise, I'm cool with it. Like, yeah, give me that. That's fine. But like, yeah, don't do it. Like, don't do that the whole time. Like, you can even have like one or two moments of it, like in a cool action sequence, but I don't want the entire thing to be full of that. Like it always feels off to me.
Yeah, it doesn't work, man. It really doesn't work.
Yeah. So like, give me some give me some good like Western, you know, style music and stuff like that. Like spaghetti Western type music, like that will work for me. I would be totally fine with that.
You can even like jazz it up a little bit, you know. And
oh yeah, of course.
Like, I want to hear a score, man. Like I don't want Jay-Z in the background while these people are, you know, gunslinging.
Right, and like again, I'm okay with like one or two instances of that, but it can't be every time. Like it's got to be used super sparingly if you're going to do it.
It can be like Django, right? Where at the scene in the big shootout at the end of Django, they played a mashup of Tupac and James Brown, and it fit the moment,
right.
But that wasn't throughout the whole movie,
right? Like if you're gonna do it, like make it count, and when you do it, it should be the end moment where you're just like, okay, that was fucking dope, right? Like that's when it works. But if you do it throughout, that will bother the shit out of me. I'd be like, all right, you're kind of ruining this for me. So, Yep, I agree. Next up, I'm about to be considered an asshole here. This is the trailer for Britney versus Spears. This is the documentary about Britney Spears and sort of her conservatorship, which I think like ended today or like very recently, today or yesterday. Her dad stepped down from it. I think that Britney Spears was a very talented person. She clearly had a nervous breakdown at one point, which was really kind of sad in hindsight. That whole like shaved her whole head and everybody was like, oh shit, Britney's crazy. And, she started so young and, it was, there was a lot for her and, she had a rough life, right? I don't give a shit about Britney Spears. Like I don't, I'm sorry. I know everybody's like, I saw an article how we as a society have failed Britney Spears. We didn't do anything. I don't care. Like, I can't muster the energy to give a shit about this incredibly wealthy woman who's being unfairly taken advantage of. Granted, I just, like, there are other people dealing with shit in the world, and there are a lot more poor people, and I find it just so hard to garner any level of real energy to give a shit about this. That's my opinion. I'm never going to watch this.
I was surprised when I saw it on the doc.
I only wanted to say that. That's the only reason why I put it there. I just don't care.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, I like Toxic.
Yeah, who doesn't like that song? Come on.
But yeah, look, it sucks what happened to this woman, right? And she's essentially one of, like, the infamous, like, stereotypical child star, right?
Right.
You saw that in the 80s a lot. Child stars were taken advantage of by the adults around them, and it's fucked up. And this, I guess, is her, like, standing up for that. You know, she's like, you know, I want my life back. I want my money and all. I get it.
Right.
There's no way I'm watching this. There's no way I'm watching. One,
yeah,
I know the ending, right?
Yeah, it all worked out for her, I guess.
Right. And two, you know, it sucks for her, but, like, I don't know. She's not the celebrity that I care about. So.
I just cannot. I'm having a hard time just garnering any level of. It's not like, I shouldn't say I don't care. Like, I care, like, from a human perspective. Like, I hope she's okay, but I don't care specifically. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah. Britney Spears, an article about Britney Spears. I'm never going to read it. I'm just never going to read it. I just don't care. Like, the fact that I had to hear anything about the conservative ship over the last, like, number of weeks, I was just like, okay, I get it. I get it. Free Britney. I'm never going to repeat your hashtag. Like, I'm just not. It's fine. I hope you're fine. God bless.
Yeah.
People are like, I'm mad at Justin Timberlake now for something he did 15 years ago. I don't give a shit. I'm mad that his last album wasn't with Timberlake. I'm more mad about that. Or Timberland. Like, that's what I'm mad about. I'm not mad about any of this. I just don't, I can't care. There's too much going on in the world. I just can't care. How about voting machines? Let's talk about that. Last but certainly not least, I'm very interested to hear your opinion, because you and I have not talked about this, actually, offline. The trailer, or the opening sequence, which I think was a very smart move on their part, to release this instead of an actual formal trailer, for Cowboy Bebop on Netflix.
So I see what they're doing. 100% perfect move to go with Tank as the opening theme.
You couldn't go with anything else. You quite literally couldn't.
Right. Like, that music is, outside of that music just being awesome, it's synonymous with this series.
Right.
So I'm very glad that they went with it. I like what they're going for. Where I'm kind of tripped up is some of the more animated moments, and it's like the little things. You see John Cho lighting up an animated cigarette lighter,
yeah,
and with his real body there, and he's blowing out animated smoke. Pick one. I think you could have done this exact same thing without the little, like, animated flourishes, because it makes me wonder if the show is going to have this.
I don't think so, but I see your point.
And it doesn't, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And maybe it's just going to, maybe I just need to get used to it. But I like what I'm seeing. I like the way these characters look. I recognize a couple of characters from the anime.
Yeah, definitely.
Vicious looks kind of weird, but I think that he looks, I think, as good as he's going to look. They got that little infamous the shot of Vicious and Spike on the ground. Well, Spike's on the ground and Vicious has got the sword, pressed up against him. That's like an iconic shot from one of the final episodes in the series. So that's cool. Look, I'm still hopeful for this. I'm still excited for it. The fact that they did this opening the way it is, with my little minor nitpicks in mind, the fact that they did it the way that they were inspired by the show gives me hope that they know the feel of the show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this isn't going to be like some 1-for-1 like anime this isn't going to be the live action anime. I don't expect that at all.
I would hope not, actually.
Right. If you want the anime, just go watch the anime. But if you got the vibe, you know what I mean? Like, if you can, if John Cho plays Spike, like the slovenly like slacker type who just like doesn't care about shit until he does.
Right.
If they play these characters the way they are in the show, then I'm all for it. And this title sequence gives me hope that they are going to do that.
Yeah. I think this looks like a ton of fun. It's about as good of an opening sequence as I could have hoped for. Like, to be honest, it feels like, and I don't know how much you got into Stranger Things, but I don't know, like, it feels like a mortal sin for me to skip the title sequence for Stranger Things, right? Like, because I love the music for that so much. Like, I feel like I would never skip the opening sequence for this. And that to me is a really good marker for like getting into a show and like loving that opening sequence so much that you're like, fuck that, skip intro. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I wish my wife was like that. She can't wait to skip a fucking intro. Yeah, man. Like, yo, it's less than 30 seconds.
It depends, right? It depends on the show. If I'm like, this is okay, then I don't care. But like, I don't skip the intro for Marvel. Like, I don't skip it for What If. Like, get out of here. Like,
yeah, like I like the title credit. You know what I mean? Right. I like that song.
Right. So this one, yeah, no, this feels like I'm gonna watch it every time. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I want to see a formal trailer. But like, they got the shift exactly right. Like, it's very cool that they seem to have nailed the aesthetic, right? And I hope that it feels like, at least some of the clips, like, it feels like they realize, like, when you got like the dude with the afro, like, doing like the karate move or whatever, it feels extreme, like the cartoon felt extreme, and like I like that, because this doesn't. I don't want it to be a 1-to-1 copy, but I also don't want it to be like you said. I don't want it to miss the vibe of the show, right? Like, and the vibe of the show is like wacky and then like oddly serious at times, but like extreme in other times. And, so it needs to sort of run that weird, weird line. What'll be interesting is people who are not familiar with the cartoon or the anime, how they'll perceive that, right? Because it's a very different tone. If they're picking with the same vibe as the anime, it's a very different tone than most Americans are used to watching.
I mean, the closest thing I can think of, if you are not familiar with this, the closest thing I can probably equate this to is Firefly. And
yeah, and even that's more straightforward.
Even then, this is, that's Firefly is a little more Western, than space Western, where this is a little more space than space Western.
Yeah, that's fair. I look forward to it, man, because there's some really wacky characters, like the old lady, I forget her name, who's clearly they show her in the opening sequence, which is one of my favorite episodes, like the very first episode with her. She was fucking nuts. So I look forward to this. I think that opening sequence was the right move to go, because I think a lot of people were like, "What's the opening sequence going to be like?" And they were just like, "This is all you need to see." People were like, "Oh, okay, I'm all in."
Yeah.
So super smart move on their part. All right. Anything else?
It's been a hell of a run.
That's it, right?
And,
10 years, we're done.
Yeah,
we're out.
It's over. Congratulations. Hope you enjoyed it. No, we've outlasted a couple of our peers.
Yeah,
and
we've been outlasted the one that inspired us to do the show.
Yeah, well,
by a lot.
Lasted that a long time ago. Actually, yeah, we outlasted that and all of his other projects.
Oh,
Womp womp.
I made a studio in my house.
Yeah, and we're not going to tell you what that is. You got to corner us. You got to corner us one day.
I feel like certain people will know.
I'll tell you what. We'll tell you over Thanksgiving dinner. How about that?
If you're allowed to come. All right, that's it for us. We will.
10 years is still fucking petty as shit.
Yeah, we are still petty. I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. Probably just getting worse. If anything, it's definitely gotten worse.
Yeah, especially as we get old.
You just don't give a shit. You just start naming them at that point. At 10 years, like, remember that guy? No, not really. All right, that's it for us. We will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.